I had long thought about writing on Frances Willard, and really I first learned of her when I was a student, an MDiv student at Boston University School of Theology a long time ago, but going to Mars Chapel and seeing the Frances Willard window. And so that was, it piqued my curiosity, and that was kind of a pilgrimage that I began with her. And in a lot of respects, I think a lot of my scholarship as a historian has always had a very strong biographical edge. One of my earlier books on Walter Rauschenbusch certainly was probably the first full-length biography that I wrote, but I also played with biography as a good method for not just learning about history, but I hope in some way getting people excited about it. Mm-hmm. And I've also have to say, quite frankly, a lot of my teaching over many years now has often been shaped by the questions and the interest of my students. So there are a lot of factors that led me to Frances Willard. I think one of the things that really pushed me to write the biography, and this was actually around a time where a few people had approached me about the possibility of doing a biographical study of Willard. I kind of had some interest in it. One of the things that put me off a little bit about doing it was the fact that I'm a man, and I had some questions about am I capable of doing that? And there were also other scholars afoot, one in particular who I had long assumed would write that biography, and that didn't happen. But what really was the deciding moment for me was the 2016 election. Mm-hmm. When Donald Trump was elected president, I thought how heartbroken she would be. Mm-hmm. How utterly devastated she would have been in all of her optimism that a woman who was a fellow Methodist like Willard and had all of these commitments to progressive cause had lost to this man who emphasized all the time he was a so-called born-again Christian, and that many other so-called Christians in the United States voted for him. That had a profound impact on me. And it moved me very quickly into the decision of wanting to write a biography of her, and began a several-year process of doing archival work on her life. There's a lot more I could say with that, but I think one of the things that I really learned most of all about Willard, which is kind of a larger overview of a number of the things that you all talked about in terms of her commitments, was her infectious optimism. Mm-hmm. Willard was a person, and this is one of the stories that I tell in the book, for all of the success of her public life, she also probably had more defeats than victories. And I was just really touched by that, and the sense that in the face of that optimism, that she kept going.